Here's the scoop on the best spoons to use for a successful weaning journey. Let's take a look. So the scoop on spoon number 1 is that whilst it's very aesthetically pleasing and we'd all love a drawer full of beautiful spoons like this, it's going to pose a few issues when your baby is learning to eat. Number 1, it's actually quite a wide spoon and babies have small mouths, so they might struggle to close their mouth around the spoon or fit the whole spoon into their mouth. Second of all, it's a little bit flimsy, which poses a couple of issues. First things first, it's going to make scooping pretty challenging work. Imagine trying to get something off the spoon. I would be getting fed up too. The other thing is, if you are spoon feeding and bringing this to your baby's face, it's going to come towards their face and also bend, and fall apart, which is completely and utterly rubbish. So the scoop on spoon number 2 is, whilst this one looks a little bit more sturdy and perhaps fit for purpose, the issue lies in the long handle. With spoon feeding, we really want to encourage babies to also have an active role in their feeding, and this long handle poses a couple of issues. Number 1, they might find it difficult to grasp around, twisting and turning, and not comparable to a nice fat handle that a baby can grasp around with their palmar grasp and manoeuvre a lot more easily. The second is that if this is going in their mouth, and it's a slightly better size to do so, with this long handle, it's much more likely for a baby that they are going to hit their gag reflex. So it might be overstimulating that gag reflex regularly during weaning, making you think that there's a problem. And the scoop with spoon number 3, this colossal spoon, which would be a little bit like me trying to eat with one of these comparatively. Babies have small mouths, and this is a massive bowl on a spoon, meaning it's probably going to be difficult for your baby to clear all the food in here and get it in their mouth. As far as I'm concerned, this is another one not fit for purpose. So what would I pick when choosing a weaning spoon for your baby that's going to lead to a lovely path of success? First of all, we'll look at Bibadoo's Dip It spoon. This is great for loads of reasons. It's got that wonderful firm structure, which you're going to need and is going to be important for grasping and also being able to maneuver around the mouth without any of that flimsy flopping around. It's also got a much shallower and smaller spoon, which means your baby is likely to be able to clear the spoon and close their lips around it much easier. The absolute star of the show is, of course, its 2 handles, meaning that baby can use both hands and bring it up through their midline and feed themselves. And it's also got this wonderful honeycomb end as well. So as your baby is getting used to all the skills that they need to learn to eat, including spoon feeding, they can have a good go at dipping too and still get some food to their mouth. So this spoon, from my perspective, is definitely a keeper. Now let's move on to the handy cutlery that comes with a spoon, but also a fork, because your baby can start learning how to use that cutlery too. It has that lovely fat handle, which I talked about earlier, as babies have a good palmar grasp, and it's much shorter, meaning that baby is much more likely to actually be able to get food to their mouth. It's also nice and sturdy, as I've already mentioned, and a position and size that means your baby is much more likely to actually get some food on their spoon. And this handy popper that fits on the Bibadoo bibs only means that your baby is not going to get frustrated when their spoon is constantly flying to the floor, minimizing frustration and allowing much more time and practice with cutlery skills, which is super important as it takes time. So that's another one with a 5-star from me. So there's the final scoop on the best spoons for weaning.